Hey everyone, welcome to Withering Effect episode 91. Today's date is April 18th, 2021, and I am Duds, or Duds versus known to the rest of the interwebs.
And I'm Jimbo. You may know me as Jimbo Slice 23. We got some pretty big news today.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting it today, but before we do that, let's get into what we've done this week.
You want to know what I've done this week?
Yeah, what'd you do?
None of your business. No, I'm just...
Shouldn't have asked.
I'm in a giggly mood. It's Sunday afternoon. Whenever we do the Sunday afternoon recordings, I get giggly for some reason. It's weird. Actually, I know exactly what it is. It's because I have a king-size Reese cup.
Oh, that'll do it.
Sitting right next to me, and that's for whenever we're done recording the show. My little, treat for doing a good episode. Yay!
And maybe some Milk Duds on the side.
Oh, dude, they were selling Milk Duds at the grocery store, and I almost bought a box just to spite Mr. Beast. That was a thing going around our Discord. If you guys are unfamiliar with that, you should join our Discord. It's a fun place to hang out.
It is. I found a bunch of Milk Duds in my kids' Easter candy, and I pretty much took them all.
There you go.
They had plenty of other candy, but yeah, I loaded up on the Milk Duds.
This week, I finished my nether tunnel. Not the nether hub part. That's coming next. I have the design for the nether hub. It's going to be a large cave.
Okay.
Which I'm like, why did I do that? Because it's basically just a nether mountain.
Yeah, and inside.
I'm like, I already don't want to do the other mountain.
Yeah.
The worst part is, so I spent stream working on one of the final rows of the mountain, and I was like, I got halfway through this row. I only have half this row finished, and then I can actually start building on the mountain. I was like, I'm not going to bed tonight till I finish this row. And then I didn't get on Minecraft the rest of the night. I just got caught up doing so many other stuff. Like this weekend, I was in the garage all weekend between cleaning my car and detailing it. And then I cleaned the garage and reorganized the shelving in there. I was like on top of housework this weekend.
Yeah. Once you get in a rhythm of housework, it's hard to stop.
Yeah.
It's just hard to get motivated sometimes, but once you get going, man, you feel like one thing leads to another.
Well, the worst part is, so I have one of the biggest garages in the neighborhood, and it's just a 2-car garage. And to say I have the biggest garage, you physically can't park a full-size pickup truck in it because the garage is too small. That tells you about the size of garages in our neighborhood.
Yeah.
But I have a Mustang. It fits in that garage. The problem is, if I get out of the driver's side, I have to walk back behind the car and then back up around the car because I have to pull in all the way up against the wall.
Yeah, okay. I can picture it.
And the problem is, my roommate and I have been stacking stuff up against the wall near the door. So to walk around his car, I have to sidestep and shuffle to get to the door. And I was like, I'm sick and tired of doing that. So I went in there and I just cleaned the entire place. And now I can walk like a normal person to the door from my car.
Yeah.
And I'm proud of it.
That's what we do. We have a 1-car garage, but it's to get out of the garage and go inside is a longer walk than us just parking right out front. So I'm like, we're too lazy to park in the garage.
Yeah. No, I never have had a garage until 2 years ago. So every car I've owned, and I've owned some nice cars, and they've just all sat outside, and they're constantly getting dirty, and the paint's getting ruined from sun and stuff, because I don't use car covers anymore. I used to for the longest time, but it's like, I need to hurry up and get my car and go get something. Well, let me spend 10 minutes taking this cover off the car before I can go anywhere. And so when I got a garage, I was like, it's really small. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do... No, I found a way to store everything in a way I could park the car in the garage because I have a garage, dang it. I'm doing it. Yeah. Needless to say, my car is in the garage. We're all good. Didn't do much with Minecraft since my episode went out on Friday. So basically, if you want to know everything I did this week, episode came out. I did a trophy wall, played with the mini game a little bit, helped Carl out doing the North Tunnel. But yeah, Minecraft kind of has been put on the back burner the last 2 weeks for me, and it's not getting burned out in the game per se. It's just I found other things that I really needed to focus on, and I did that.
Yeah, sometimes you need that.
But how about you? What have you done this week?
I've done a good bit. Well, not too much Minecraft, a little bit of Minecraft, but a lot of editing.
Yeah.
I had my eye surgery at the beginning of the week and just kind of been taking it easy on the computer, not too much recording.
Mm-hmm.
But I did do a little scene with Omni where we'll save it for the show, but I edited the crap out of it. You know, just got a bunch of different angles, trying something different, and having a lot of fun with it. So far, I think I'm actually 12 minutes into the episode from doing all that editing.
Nice.
Yeah, so I should have it out by the end of this week. Got one more project to do on the episode, and that'll be about it. Had to clean up the egg hunt.
Mm-hmm.
I did that yesterday. You know, it's been a week today or 2 weeks today from Easter. But every person got a prize except for one. There's one box left. So it's cool to have leftovers from the hunt just for like memory, I guess.
Yeah.
I noticed you made a trophy room. That's something I'd like to build and put those in.
Yeah. Well, and you have this perfect spot above your storage room.
Yeah.
To do trophies and stuff.
Yep. Ever since you mentioned that, that's where I plan on putting it.
Omni had mentioned that my trophy wall gives him the idea of he needs to do more things that would cause us to get trophies.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yes.
That's a good point. Never really thought about that. Besides Minecraft, though, I did get an upgrade to my setup.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up purchasing the legs for my desk that go from sitting to standing, like motorized.
Nice.
I think it was $200.
Mm-hmm.
You just pretty much screw it to the bottom of your legs or of your desk. Took the old ones off, screwed it on there, and it works great. I always had back issues, so now I could just stand whenever, sit whenever.
Mm-hmm.
I might even do it right now. I don't know. If I'm feeling crazy enough, I might just stand up and talk.
I don't want to hear motors going.
I already got connection issues.
Yeah, you know what the great thing about playing on a controller is? I can already just stand up.
Oh, you can, yeah, you could stand it. I can't really take my keyboard around.
My $40 controller was way cheaper than motorized legs.
That's true, but now you gotta look down. Haha.
I just take a step back.
Yeah, I can't see that far.
I
like my motor desk. Stop it.
No, the motorized desks for you to stand up are really cool. We've been talking about those at work because we have desks that are sitting on wooden blocks, and then we have like these stools we have to sit at. So quite literally all day, I am hunched over for 10 hours, just in a hunched position. And it hurts our backs. And we've all talked about just converting to straight up stand-up desks to make it easier on us.
Yeah, as soon as that thing came in, my wife laughed at me. She's like, "You're never going to use that. You're always sitting down. You're not going to stand up." I was like, "Watch me." So every time she comes in a room, I make sure I stand up. It's like a running joke. Like, look, see, I'm standing. Then my feet start to hurt, and I just suffer because she's still in the room, and I have to prove a point.
They have those padded mats you can put underneath your desk stand.
Yeah, that's what I need. I have a concrete floor underneath me. So in order to utilize this whole standing thing, I might want a softer ground to stand on.
Yeah.
But it's still cool nonetheless. If I got my slippers on, it's soft anyway. Yeah, I got my house slippers. They're comfy.
Anyways, should we go ahead and move into the news? Because we have a decent amount of news we need to cover.
Yeah, big news this week.
So we're going to start off with the big announcement that came last week. And this update's going to get split into two. We weren't sure how they were going to name the updates, but it turns out they released that information this afternoon. We're finally ahead of the curve for once.
Yeah, that's right.
The summer release, which Jimbo is going to go over what's involved in that, and the holiday release are going to be 117 and 118 respectively.
Ah.
I kind of think that numbering's stupid.
Yeah.
I would have been fine with like a 117 and then a 117-1.
Yeah.
Because to me, I'm still going to view them as the same update. But if it helps Mojang and their terminology and stuff, I mean, it's their game. They can do whatever they want. So,
yeah,
whichever. But before we talk too much about it, I'm going to let you go over what's going where.
The first update, right?
Yeah, this is 117.
The world height has been switched back to 116 levels. None of that deep, dark as of right now.
Nope.
Noise caves and
aquifers have been switched off. Cave and ravine carvers have been turned to their old settings. Crack carvers have been switched off. Ore distribution has been returned to 1.16 setup. Copper now generates between the bottom of the world and height 192, being most common around height 96. Tuff now generates in blobs between heights 0 and 16. Worlds created in snapshot 21W05B or any earlier version can now once again be opened, and worlds created in any version between snapshots 21W6A and 21W14A can no longer be opened.
Yeah.
So you can see where they're drawing the line at.
Basically, when it comes to mountains and caves, they're drawing the line.
They're drawing the line at caves and cliffs.
They did say that all the blocks that we've been shown already are going to be in the 117 update. We don't have to wait for the naturally generating stuff for 118, which I think is really cool. I'm wondering how they're going to do that. There is also a data pack you can download and put in your world file that will give you the height generation. So there's that.
Yeah.
I was getting ready to have the bet of the year again with you on when the next update was going to come out. And I was going to say, let me see, I had it marked on my little calendar thing. I was going to say October 8th was when they were going to release this one.
For the second update.
This was before I knew they were splitting it.
Okay.
So my bet would have been that 117 came out October 8th, which to me just so happens to be in the middle of where I think they're going to release 117 and 118. So it's like, I think I was going to be kind of right again, but obviously they're splitting everything now, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, one of the things they mentioned is they don't want it to be rushed.
Yeah, we don't want it to be rushed either.
Yeah, and I'm completely okay with how they're doing it.
Well, and see, this is the way they originally were telling us they were going to do it. You remember years ago where they're like, yeah, we're going to have a smaller update in the early parts of the year, and then we'll have a much bigger update towards the end of the year. And so we were going to get 2 updates a year. They said that, and then they immediately just didn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
They went back to doing 1 big update a year.
Right.
So it's like, no, Mojang, we're okay with you releasing small little stuff whenever you feel they're comfortable and ready to be released. We don't have to wait for giant updates.
Yeah, it's nice they put the snapshots out there for us to play with it.
Yeah.
And see, if they needed to split it up. Most of the issues I'm seeing, with the new generation, the new Y levels, is the rendering. How are they going to keep everything a smooth playing performance with all the rendering it's got to do?
Mm-hmm.
Gives it more time to figure it out.
Let's not forget they're bringing shaders and stuff in, too.
Yeah.
There was no mention where those are going to fall.
Yeah, that wasn't really brought up.
I have a feeling it'll probably be the 118 more than the 117.
Yeah.
But some of them seem to think that the shaders weren't going to be that big of a deal, so then maybe it will be 117.
Yeah, didn't hear about that.
No. But do we want to talk about the snapshot that came out last week?
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of throwing everything together because it wasn't a huge snapshot. The announcement was more of the big thing.
Yeah.
21W15A. Goats will now ram anything that moves, including armor stands, which I think is hilarious. But
yeah, I like that.
Here's the thing. We had that with the zombie piglins, remember? Because you're using those in your witch farm.
Yeah, pretty much they attack any mob.
Yeah, so there's that. The armor stand thing's kind of funny. I'm sure there will be a mini game based on goats and armor stands.
Oh, yeah.
Now bone meal is going to give a crinkly, crunchy sound when used.
Yeah, more bone sounds.
Bone sounds are awesome in the game, by the way. I love the bone sounds.
Me too.
They've reordered some blocks in the building blocks tab in the creative menu. They didn't list which ones, but I'm sure it'll be easy enough to find. Goats will avoid walking on powdered snow. That works. Creepers won't dare mess with goats. So creepers are now scared of cats and goats.
Yeah? Did they say they're scared of them?
It says they won't dare mess with it. So I have to assume that creepers would walk away. Or what they're saying is if a goat headbutts a creeper, it won't explode.
Maybe.
Which might be a different thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm good with that because obviously you don't want something you can't control destroying a build.
Yeah.
And if a goat spawns right next to a creeper and
They both spawn together. Yeah, that
right, that's something you can't control.
recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
Kind of makes it sound like other mobs besides the creeper mess with goats, because it says don't dare mess with goats. But I think you're right. I think it just prevents them from exploding from when they get hit.
Yeah, because we know Mojang's stance on they don't really like giving functionality to two different things when it's already in the game, such as creepers being scared of cats.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not saying this isn't true. I didn't see anyone talk about goats running away from creepers.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming this is creepers aren't going to explode when a goat headbutts them, which, yeah, I'm good with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
The main menu background has been updated. I'm assuming this is to show the Cave and Cliffs update.
All right.
Can it really be called the Cave and Cliffs update now if we're not getting any caves or cliffs in the update?
Yeah, blocks and mobs update.
Yeah.
The deep Y0.
No, because you're not getting the deep Y0 now.
No, you don't even get 0. Just get 1.
Yeah.
The deep 1.
What we need are a new boat or something, so we can call it Goats and Boats. Can we get like a
boats, goats and boats?
Well, I was thinking, well, we got raw ores, and I immediately went ores and boars, but we already have pigs. We got pigs last update.
Yeah.
In the Hoglands. So that doesn't work either.
Yeah.
Anyways, you guys tell us what you think would be a great name for 117 now that it's not going to be the Caves and Cliffs update.
That's a good question. It needs a new name.
Yeah. Let's see. Tweak textures of raw ore items. I did see that. The new textures do look pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't hate the old textures. I just felt they felt a little off. The new textures feel more general.
Yeah.
And just like other ore materials, you can now craft a compact version of the raw ore to save inventory space. And this is where I want to go back to last week, because we had several comments talking about the saving inventory space was meant for when you were digging in deep slate and then you were digging in regular stone.
Mm-hmm.
You would obviously, if it was silk touch, you'd get two different ore types, thus taking up two different inventory spaces. But then I go with, well, I'm still fortuning these things now, so I'm still getting double the amount. I'm still using up inventory space. The fact that I can now craft this into a raw ore block, I'm assuming you can uncraft it from said block version.
Yeah.
This makes more sense to save inventory space. So this to me is the bigger inventory space saver, which I'm happy with. And they all look like beans, which is hilarious.
I never really noticed that. Yeah, the raw form block, that's definitely going to save inventory space. Yeah, the whole idea of there being all these different ores that, now you can stack together, it was going to be brutal on the inventory, if not.
Yeah.
But I really like this change, and I never noticed the beans texture. I'll have to look at it a little different.
Dude, they look like beans, 100%. I don't know if the texture update is now including the ore block version, but yeah, they look like beans. And it's funny because I've always called gold butter.
Yeah.
Because a gold ingot looks like a butter stick.
It does.
So now we have butter beans.
Oh, no. Yeah, they're butter beans because it's gold.
Yep.
Oh, boy.
It's great. Other than inventory space, which this now makes sense, I just like the fact we're getting different blocks. I don't care. I know there are some people who are not liking the new textures of these raw ore stuff, and I get it. I was that way when glazed terracotta came out. I was just like, I'm not going to use this in the game. This is so ugly. I'd still kind of do it with the purr and stuff, but the more I kind of just start winging stuff and just throwing blocks on walls, the more I'm finding even what I would consider an ugly block really can look good in the right build. It's just not as versatile as other blocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, bring the beans on. Let me build with some beans. I'll figure something out, right?
I have plans for these beans.
Yeah.
I didn't know they were beans when I made plans for them, but I do have plans for the raw or gold block in my design. So we could probably cover that in the next topic, which is a question, but about, us updating. When do you update? It should be relatively easy to guess.
Yeah, so do we just want to go ahead and jump into listener comments?
Yeah, before we do that, they did note that they're not going to do the archaeology update.
Yes.
they're going to hold that for a future update. So as of right now, it doesn't look like it's going to be 117 or 18, because 18 is the second part of the update.
Yeah. What are your feelings on that?
I honestly don't mind. They didn't really get into it too deep for us to really capture what it was about. You know, I love the idea and everything, but
Right.
I didn't get enough of it to really, say, no, we need that.
That's what I was saying. I don't mind the idea of it, but I felt that there wasn't enough information coming across for me to going, I really want that. So when they said, well, we're not going to have archaeology 117 or 18, I literally just went, okay.
Yeah, pretty much. All right.
Which stinks, because I will admit I was looking forward to pots, because I think that would have made a difference in the game. I really didn't care much about the shards to create your own storytelling pot.
That's something I would have been after, the shards, just for collection.
Yeah, and see, when we saw the shards, they were like, well, don't worry about the way they look, because they're going to look different when texture guys get their hands on it and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, but that's all I'm going off of is what they look like.
Right.
Everything else about this doesn't really stand out to me a little bit. But
yeah,
hey, this gives them more time to do more stuff with it. I'm 100% fine with that. Never once have I complained about they need to hurry up with an update. It's, you need more time, take more time, get it right.
Take your time. That's how I am. Now, some people were complaining that it doesn't feel Minecrafty. And I think that's one thing I did want to look at to make it feel more Minecrafty, because it is a little bit out of the box.
Yeah.
The whole archaeology, shaving down blocks to find these hidden shards, like you said. So they do want to make it feel a little more Minecrafty too.
Yeah. I think what I would do, so I understand the whole brush and shaving down the block thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to me, that makes sense, obviously, because that's the way you do it in real life. But to make it feel more Minecrafty, what I would do is let the player use a shovel and click the shovel kind of like you would do to make the path block. But if you do it on an archaeology block, it would do a digging animation and like the shard or the treasure would pop out of the block and that block would disappear.
Yeah.
To me, that would feel a bit more Minecrafty because everyone, when they saw that block being shaved down, immediately went, I have dirt half slabs now.
Yep, half slab everything.
Yeah, and that's not what they were trying to do. It was, once you start shaving a block down, that block is gone.
Right. Kind of speculated that.
Yeah, maybe doing the shovel. I know it doesn't make a ton of sense when compared to real archaeology, but in Minecraft, it might come across a little easier and better.
Right.
Plus, how cool would it be if you're just making a random path and then all of a sudden you hit a block and then boop, out comes a pottery shard.
Yeah, be another way to find those sites.
Yeah, you'd be like, oh, this is an archaeology site. I need to start setting dig camp up and start getting my pots ready.
Yep, set up camp. Yeah, we're not going to see that for a little while. I mean, I think they wanted to release that in this update because it's called the Caves and Cliffs. It would make sense to put it in this update. So
yeah,
pretty sure they're disappointed they can't release it with this update, but we know what their plans are with it. So when it does come out, we have an idea.
Listener comments?
Yes.
We actually got 3. We'll start with the one Jimbo was already hinting at. This one's from High Hopes. Mind you, all these comments are from our Discord. That's the best way to get in touch with us and stuff. High Hopes writes, curious what you guys would like to do concerning the update split. Continue the world you're in now and reset for the holidays or reset for the summer. So basically reset for 117 or reset for 118. I'm pretty sure Ripple Effect is unanimous, at least from what I've seen in the Discord so far. Jimbo, what was your take? What would you rather do?
Oh, I'm definitely going to wait for the full release.
Yeah.
At the end of the year. No reason to set up a world and then reset it up again.
Yep.
Our world generates just fine, it says, even with the notes we've read off. 116 levels are going to be in the new update, so you won't have to worry about any of that. And if you update, you can always just get the new blocks and mobs. So you don't have to really change too much for the first update. But the second one's going to be a game changer, so might as well wait till then.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I see a lot of people going, well, I don't know if my world's going to be compatible when I update to the caves and cliffs. It's like, guys, Mojang would never make you end a world to upgrade to the next version.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's ever been that done in the past, but with the team that's in there now, they won't let that happen. They're going to make sure it's compatible. And that's probably one of the reasons they're having to split this update so they can work out the kinks in allowing that to happen. But that's another reason why I'm okay with the split.
Yeah, there's a lot of things on my base where I noticed in this snapshot or in this update, there's so many different blocks that I could use on my base to make it better. I've been complaining about using the delta. Is that what? No. What's that block?
Are you talking about basalt?
Basalt. I called it delta just now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that basalt would look so much better as the deep slate blocks.
Mm-hmm.
And now I could use that if I wanted. Now I already put the basalt in place, so it would be a pain replacing all that.
Yeah.
But like I said, I want to use the gold ore, the raw gold ore blocks. Yeah, there's so many more possibilities to bring in the blocks and mobs towards the end of our season to really polish our bases up a little bit.
I think I'm one of the few that's really far ahead. And obviously, I was planning on being done with my base by 117. So I'm at the point now where I need to slow down because I still have almost an entire year left, or I need to think of something more. Now, I'm not crazily putting out videos. I'm only on episode 27 I released. And we've been in this world for almost a year now.
Mm-hmm.
Right? No, it couldn't be a year.
Yeah, July, I think, because June was the update, and then July we started the server.
Yeah. So my plan is I'm going to continue on the pace I'm on now. And when I finish my base, I'm either going to dive headfirst into community projects, or I'm going to become a hermit and just move far away, build a small starter home or something with some of the new blocks and live my life out with very little redstone as possible and see how that goes.
Yeah, it's a good idea. See, I do have a storyline I'm kind of working with.
Uh-huh.
I need to throw into the episode. It's towards the end of the season. So it's good to know they give us that heads up on the separate updates. So we can actually, like you said, you can take your time now.
Yeah.
We have an idea of when this is coming out. If you do the 117, you feel a little rushed.
Uh-huh.
But with the 118 holiday timeline, you can actually take your time. It's nice.
Mm-hmm.
I got a lot to do, too. So much to do.
Do you want to read the second comment?
Sure. Beanman6649 asks, what do you think of the idea of changing the look of older armor, specifically the chainmail, and making it look more like knight's armor?
I'll go and answer that. And changing it to make it look more like knight's armor, I'm not so sure about that because I think the armor, or iron armor, I don't know why I said armor, the iron armor would be more likely to represent traditional knight's armor.
Yeah.
But I am for changing the way armor looks. I've always complained about the way armor looks. Matter of fact, I complained about it in stream on Saturday about how boots were just cubes on our feet. And I think it was Omni I was chatting to about that. There really isn't a great way to make Minecraft boot armor differentiate other than color. So I would kind of like a way to figure that out. Especially considering we just got all these new villagers. One of them's an armorer. It'd be cool to have a new way of making armor and tools and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I would implement it. And obviously Mojang's on to bigger and better things. So
yeah,
maybe when they do the combat update, it would kind of make sense to update armor a little bit. But until then, who knows? What about you? Would you change old existing armor?
I would definitely change old existing armor. I'm with you with, if any armor had the knight's armor look, it would be the iron armor. Yeah, just switch, each armor up to look different. They all look the same besides the netherite. You have that, it stands out. It's got a little more detail.
Yeah.
But all the other ones look exactly the same. It'd be cool to just get different textures on those. I'd be okay with just that change in general.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you didn't color it or make it look too different. Just give it a different texture from all the other ones.
For sure.
That's pretty much all I do.
Yeah. I think you would have to start looking at some of the role-playing games when it comes to armor, but then you're starting to make the game a bit more complex than it needs to be, because Minecraft kind of walks that fine line.
Yeah.
It's hard. I mean, obviously you have modded Minecraft that does all this, but that's why it's modded and not vanilla.
Yeah, most things that come out that's new, like even the netherite armor, people are like, it's a little off. It should look like the other armors because that feels too modded. But once it's implemented, it's in the game.
Yeah.
It starts to feel a little more Minecrafty.
Yeah, I completely forgot that the netherite helmet does not look like the other helmets at all.
No, yeah, it's completely different.
But yeah, I'd change armor up. I wouldn't know how to do it, but I would change it up.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, our last listener comment was from DirtyBlonde655, and they ask, if you owned Minecraft for one day, what would you do?
Me, I would start with a brand new world and play survival. That's what I like to do. Just play some survival Minecraft for 24. If I had one whole day and that's it, no more Minecraft, I'd stay on it all day and play survival.
I think they were more talking about if you physically owned the company that makes Minecraft.
Well, that's different.
That's very different.
I read it different.
I'm with you. If I owned Minecraft for a day, I'd jump in survival and play survival.
Yeah, it's my favorite part.
Yeah. See how far I can get.
Before I die. Probably not too far.
Yeah. But no, if you had the company, what would you do?
What would I do? Oh, man. I don't know. I'd mess something up. If they let me own the company, something would go, stocks would go down. It wouldn't be a good idea for me to own it. I don't know what I would do, to be honest. I was thinking of a different question. Threw me off.
Yeah. Honestly, I wouldn't change a lot because I do think the people who are running the game right now are very capable and very smart and know way more than I do. So I'd let them do their thing, but I would do an emphasis on inventory management right now.
Yeah.
I know they're in the cave and cliffs and stuff like that, and their stuff looked really good. But with it being split up into two, inventory update.
Yeah, that'd be...
We need it. There's been a lot of great suggestions. I still stand by my suggestion of every row in your inventory would be a hotbar you could rotate through. To me, that's the easiest inventory fix.
Yeah, see, I wasn't thinking about changing something in the game with this question.
Yes, I know. You just want to play. Like, I want to play Minecraft.
I just want to play Minecraft.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could always, say, add stairs and slabs.
Yeah.
But realistically, I don't know if I would. Really don't know.
Oh, no, I'd fight for concrete stairs and slabs. And those would be the only stairs and slabs I would fight for. I know there's a lot of people who are going, blasphemy. And to me, concrete stairs and slabs make sense because you can really have concrete stairs in real life. You can't have dirt stairs and slabs.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Yeah, I guess arguing it, something I would do.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would not leave myself to any final decisions.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. You hand me the company, I'll hand it to the guy right behind me, probably.
All right. Well, thank you guys for those comments. It's awesome. Like I said, those comments were from our Discord, and our Discord is the only place you can talk to everyone who works on the show easily. Just take C3PO's word for it.
Hello, interwebs. I'm C3PO, a member of the Withering Effect Discord. A great place to talk to fellow like-minded Minecrafters and to get to know the people from the show. Sometimes there are even puppy pictures. Don't delay. Join the Discord today. Link is in the show notes. Toodaloo. Duds made me say that.
Thanks again for the Discord ad, C3PO. Like I said, you guys can check us out on the Discord. It really is a good place to ask questions stuff. Literally every time I write up the show, I throw something in Discord saying, hey, anyone have any listener comments this week? And literally all 3 listener comments that came through ended up on the show.
Yeah.
But speaking of the Discord, it's the only place where you can get involved in our Mending Minecraft vote. This week, we asked you to choose between 3 structures for us to discuss and improve. Your choices were Dungeon, Nether Fortress, and Igloo.
And the winner of Mending Minecraft this week is... the Dungeon. Congratulations, dungeon. We have 33 votes for the dungeon, 13 for the Nether Fortress, and 13 for the igloo. A lot of threes.
Yeah, man.
But I kind of figured dungeons was going to win. We aren't seeing an update with the new cave release, so people were kind of
in a tizzy.
Yeah. A few things on the dungeon. Dungeons, also referred as monster rooms in their ID, are structures that appear in the overworld that contain spawners. Dungeons are small rooms made of cobblestone and mossy cobblestone, and contain the spawners and up to 2 chests.
I love me some mossy cobblestone.
You heard? Is that how it came out? Oh,
that's how it came out.
Cobblestone. Spawners in the dungeons contain the skeleton, zombie, spider / cave spider. We weren't too sure if that was a dungeon. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, even though it's in a mine shaft, I'd still consider it a dungeon.
Yeah.
It's just a mine shaft dungeon.
The spawner is always in the center of the dungeon room, with chests located around the walls of the room, with each room varying from 7 to 11 blocks length / width and height of 6. If the spawner in the dungeon is broken, any tool or item, it will be destroyed forever. Try not to break those. It's cardinal sin.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
I've done that with the blaze spawners.
I had a creeper blow up a skeleton spawner right under my witch farm.
Ooh.
I could have doubled that.
Yeah. Improving a dungeon was a lot harder than it sounds. Everyone's like, well, they're such plain rooms. This should be really easy to upgrade and make better.
Blank canvas.
Yeah. You go back to Minecraft and Mojang, want the game to be a relative blank slate. So you can use your creativity to upgrade these things. And we do that with spawner grinders and everything like that. So if you went into a dungeon and the grinder was pre-built for you, I mean, that's not fun.
Mm-hmm.
So how could I make dungeons interesting while still making them a blank slate and obviously different nowadays? And my first thought is, instead of a quote-unquote monster room or a quote-unquote dungeon, we now have dungeon caves. So it's a new cave type.
Okay.
So that way we're adding some of the new decorations of the caves and stuff into this dungeon room, which means the terrain can vary. Obviously now it's just it's a flat room. You know exactly where it's going to be. You can fire arrows in the dark and guarantee you're going to hit something because of how often we've seen the same shape structure of a dungeon.
Right.
It's a box. Relatively easy. These cave types, with all these new caves and stuff, you might get a dungeon cave at the dead end of a cave tunnel. You might get a dungeon cave that connects to another cave, so now it's a pass-through. So not only do you have to worry about the monsters spawning from the spawner, now you have the monsters that are behind the spawner coming from the other cave to attack you to worry about. I would like a new block in this area. It's kind of a lot to ask for, but Mossy Cobble is such a recognizable dungeon cave, or not dungeon cave, dungeon block, that when you hit one of those underground, you know that's a dungeon. So I would like some kind of telltale block for the caves. Doesn't have to necessarily be Mossy Cobble, even though that's kind of a good one to use.
Yeah, it stands out.
It stands out, and we're used to seeing that and immediately thinking spawner.
Mm-hmm.
So that might be a good idea. I was toying with the ideas of having more types of spawners, but no, I think the spawners we have now are good. Everyone's going to be like, creeper spawner. No, that's OP. And plus, they're just going to blow up their own spawner anyways.
Yeah, most likely.
You're going to go and you're going to try to deactivate it with torches and stuff, and you're not going to pay attention. And a creeper's going to spawn on it, and pow, and it's going to blow up. Not fun.
Yeah, and odds are good that happens. Odds are really good.
Odds are good. You might get lucky once in a while, but
you got like 5% chance that spawner's going to survive.
Yeah, especially if we're thinking about this dungeon cave idea I have, where I want varying terrain. I want you fighting monsters in a cave. The best way I can put it into terms is in Comic Craft Season 2, Freddy Bushboy built a minigame that required you to travel down to this cave, and we had Silk Touch spawners in, and he set up spawners inside this cave. So as you were going deeper and deeper into this cave, you were fighting monsters left and right. Yeah, let's have some of that. maybe have the chance to have more spawners spawn inside these dungeon areas. Because right now, it's always like, oh, here's one spawner, and you might get lucky that there's a second dungeon near that you can activate both at the same time. I'm saying, what if we have 2 spawners on top of each other in the same cave?
Ooh.
Yeah, more challenging, but worth the reward.
Right.
That was my big dungeon fix. I didn't want to push it too far. My other worry was that if you put lichen and glowberries around this area, now you have spawned a dungeon that automatically deactivated itself. So I didn't want that. I want these areas to stand out. So like moss blocks, mossy cobble, vines, stuff like that. I want it to feel like a gloomy, lush caves.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Now, what if these dungeons, you took the spawner out altogether? Like there's no spawner. It's just like a naturally spawned caves or dungeons that form. You know, small caves like you're talking about, not so much as box. 'Cause they're pretty boxy now. You know, you walk into the room, you know, separated by a certain stone, like you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
That really makes it stand out. Something that says this is a dungeon, but there's no spawner. They just naturally spawn in that cave.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there'd be some mechanic behind it to where you can measure out.
Oh, so you're talking like a bounding box. It's kind of like a witch hut.
Right, exactly like a witch hut, except no spawner in the middle. Now, the only thing about that is you might build a base and, you know, skeletons are spawning midair, you know.
Right.
That's the only thing. That would have to be lit up in that area.
Yeah, I got really excited for that until I realized there's not a way to permanently deactivate it like there is now.
Yeah, you can't deactivate it. That's the only thing that sets that apart.
Yeah, everyone jumps on top of people who break spawners, but if you're just casually wanting to build in an area and you didn't want to build a grinder, now this spawner's in your way, you can just break it and get rid of it. It's your game. You can do what you want.
Yeah.
If you had a bounding box to a cave type, that just basically meant that area is off limits to build. And I can't tell you how many times I ran into a zombie spawner that I'm like, I'm not using this one. I have a skelly spawner over there. This thing's just in the way. Boink, break.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sometimes they need broken and moved.
Yeah.
Well, you can't really move them. Just removed, I guess.
Yeah, removed. Bye-bye.
Yeah, I was just thinking, I love the cave idea. You know, you walking into anything but a box.
Yeah, anything but a box.
Yeah, but I was just thinking, you know, the spawner altogether. I love the idea of the witch hut. The witch hut idea is one of my favorites. And like the, the ocean ruins, they have naturally generated, what are they? Drown that spawn in there just once. But like, have something like that instead of a spawner.
Yeah. Fragile Mock mentioned slime chunks and stuff.
Yeah, slime chunks, same difference.
Yeah, I mean, that's been annoying for me all season because I built under Y level 50. So I've got slime constant spawning with baits, which means nothing I build can be full block.
Yeah.
Everything's a half cyber stair.
Now, if you redo the mechanics on a spawner, you can make it to where they don't just spawn in a dark spot. Because they don't need a block under them to spawn, it just needs to be dark. Maybe it needs a spawnable spot instead of it spawning in air.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that you could change to make it work for you not having to break it, but just avoid it by throwing carpet down.
Well, now that Fragile Rocks mentioned this in the live chat, I can't get out of my head. I would much rather have a slime spawner than a slime chunk. I get that that's way less efficient, but we have magma cube spawners now.
Yeah.
So the lore is in place for this. Now, again, there are probably a lot of people who will complain that makes them less efficient, blah, blah. It's like, do you really need 12 double chests of slime? Like, really?
El Mango, maybe. That might be it.
I get the argument of, well, I only have to AFK this for an hour and then I'm done. It's like, yeah, but if I like the idea of grinders and stuff, and making a slime grinder, that's cool.
Yeah, pretty different.
Yeah.
Usually they just work on their own. Jeez, like
Jimbo word hard.
I can't talk today. This is getting insane.
I know work hard. Jimbo words. But I think that's kind of it. Do you have anything you want to add to it?
No, I mean there's a bunch of suggestions in the Discord. Most of them are, changing the dungeon from like a small area to like a whole cave system, like a big, I don't know, almost like a fortress type of deal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So taking my idea and just like amplifying it.
Yeah, making them huge to where, there can be rooms with multiple spawners. There's something there, but I felt like, the dungeon is supposed to be, tightly compact. Not so much square, but smaller area.
We already have the Nether Fortress idea in the overworld with the stronghold.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see a point in doing it with dungeons. I could see adding spawners to the stronghold. That would make sense.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm sticking with my dungeon cave idea.
Yeah, like a smaller kind of cave.
Yeah, I'm not blowing it up to massive amounts of science. I just want varying levels of terrain so you can't blindly look into this box and solve it.
Yeah.
You need some actual thought process behind it.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe one dungeon has 4 separate rooms, like every dungeon does. And there's just, that random chance that you could have 1 spawner, which is a good chance, or 4 spawners to get your multiple spawners with just 1 dungeon. That could be a little OP. So that was one thought I had.
Yeah.
It kind of goes with what some of the Discord members were talking about, making it a little bit bigger, a little more spawners, which could make it a little more challenging, but I like it. I don't know. I kind of like it the smaller compact size.
Yeah, I do too. Spawners are great early game for grinders and XP and stuff, but the second you have an Enderman farm, a lot of them don't get used. Really, the skeleton one and spiders are the only one worth anything just because of string and bone meal.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you have a witch farm, which produces lots of string, right?
Not string.
Witches farms don't produce string?
No. You get sugar.
Ah, sugar. That's the substance I was thinking of. What else produces string? Nothing else other than spiders?
Spiders, cave spiders.
That just points, okay, skeletons and spider farms are still kind of useful. Cats. Yeah, making a cat farm is kind of mean, though.
Right. Yeah, it is.
We'd have sea all over us.
Yeah. Breathing down our neck. Animal safety.
All right, but I think that's going to do it for us. Carl, did you change the script?
Yeah, stop changing our script.
I think that's going to do it for us on today's show. Before Jimbo reads us out, I want to say a huge thank you to all of our patrons who are supporting the show. Our milk level patrons are Omni, Chief Big Bear, Croc, Firestar, Fragile Rock, O-Beep, Stone Figure, Viper's Tuna, and YDYT. If you too would like to get access to exclusive benefits and hours of extra content each month, please consider joining at patreon.com/The Withering Effect.
And if you like the show, you can share it with all of your friends and on social media. If you listen on Spotify, follow us, or if you listen on Apple Podcasts, leave us a nice review. Doing any of these really helps the show reach more listeners. If you'd like to get in contact with us, send an email to podcast@thewitheringeffect.com, tweet us, leave a voice message, or join our Discord where you can have a chat with everyone who works on the show and fellow listeners. All the links are in the show notes.
This show has been brought to you by Jimbo and myself, but also our digital producer, Carl. He helps make sure the show ends up where it should be. And the amazing music you hear in the intro and outro is created by the one and only Decoy. Everyone's social media info can be found down in the show notes. You guys have been awesome. As always, thank you so much for getting withered with us. You should probably go drink your milk now. Bye.
See you guys.